West Tigers fans, welcome into a very special edition of the Coaches Report with Adel Haj. As you can see, we are in full HD. We're coming to you from the mic'd up studios, going full professional tonight. So no dodgy mics. We've got the full gear, full producer, not my hands. I'm not in charge tonight. So everything is going to be an absolute banger. And what better day than when Adam Doueihi kicks a winning field goal at Leichhardt Oval at the 8th wonder of the world. Without further ado, take it away, Mr. Bashara and Adel Haj.
Good evening, West Tigers fans, and welcome to a very special edition of the West Tigers Life podcast. I'm your host, Robert Bashara, and what a win it was today for the West Tigers. Joining me tonight is Adel Haj. Adel, good evening.
Good evening, Rob. Are you as nervous as you've ever been or what?
This is pretty nerve-wracking, so let me give a plug to where we're at. We are at Mic'd Up Podcast Studios at Parramatta. The great Daniel Hanna has taken us on board, and we're looking forward to this being our home every Sunday night. Obviously, Adel lives in Queensland, so he won't be here every Sunday night. I will be on my own, but on the occasions that Adel is in Sydney, Adel will be joining us live in the studio.
If Virgin or Qantas Jetstar want to come on board and get us down every Sunday night, we could probably do something if they want to come on board.
Well, how good was it starting our lovely new studio with a win against the Gold Coast Titans today, Adel? How did you spend the day? Were you at the game? Tell me about your day and who you were with, and did you see the girls play as well?
Yeah. So I flew down yesterday, obviously with my friend Troy, who I live with up there, and his wife was actually in the Gold Coast Titans extended squad. He was the 18th player today for them, so mixed emotions for us as obviously family and friends, obviously having her on that side, but of course we're Tigers at heart, and got to Leichhardt pretty early. He's never experienced the Leichhardt Oval experience, so for me it was a big thing to be down here. Whether she was selected or not, we're always coming. So my emotions around Leichhardt Oval,
of course.
Yeah, that was one of the most fulfilling days, again, off the back of the Sharks game early in the year. Obviously disappointing. The girls' loss was really disappointing, and I don't know how I would have been if the boys had lost as well, because I really didn't handle the girls' loss really well. But, yeah, wonderful to see the boys come through.
Well, we will touch on the girls' game a little bit later today, but let's talk about this victory today. I'm glad we will talk about Benji's press conference, obviously, because I tweeted something today and got a tiny bit of flack for it. And basically Benji echoed everything I said today. So, look, it wasn't pretty, but we got the 2 points, and that gives us such a buffer now from the Gold Coast at the bottom of the table.
Yeah, I think for us, the positive is we're winning games. Like, these are the type of games that potentially we would have lost in the past. But I know at the moment Leichhardt Oval is almost a safe space for us, where every time we go there, we're in the game, and we won 2 close games there this year. So potentially it feels like Leichhardt has had an impact, which it probably has. But at the same time, you look at where we are on the ladder and how many wins we've got. It's telling us that there has been improvement. Now, to the eye and where we want to be, it's probably not,
of course,
satisfactory enough or satisfying enough. But it's definitely an improvement on what the last couple of years have looked like. So there is improvement there. And I know the observation will be that obviously with signing players and the improved roster, like you've said, which I agree with, our top part of our roster's improved, but obviously our depth hasn't. But yeah, it's just satisfying to be able to say that we're in most games of football this year. And yeah, you're right, today wasn't pretty, and Benji sort of had his opinion about our performance today, but I was pretty pleased.
As a podcaster, Adel, I think we have a duty as much as we can to try and be as positive as possible, but also I feel the number one obligation is to be as honest as possible. So I'm in a little bit of a quandary tonight, because that was quite ugly till, if Adam doesn't get that field goal and we lose the game, it would have been, craziness, social media, not just social media. I was quite unhappy most of the game. I was disappointed with a lot of what I saw, but I really do want to focus on the positives, and that'd be 3 tries, Adam Doueihi kicking 4 out of 5 goals for the second time this year at Leichhardt, and the field goal, and really not much in between. But again, let's talk about some of the good things, and let's start with the first try. Taylor May, what a debut. Did you expect him to have this impact in the first game the way he did? Because I did not see this coming straight away. I knew it was going to come. But he was amazing.
I expected him to have an impact. I guess the type of impact he had has exceeded our expectations. But at the same time, and this is my argument around Jerome and Uppy and all the other guys that have been doing it for so long, class is permanent. And sometimes some of the narratives and some of the conversations that I had and some of the comments I've seen about our senior players, and especially today, like it feels like anytime something goes wrong, we sort of starting to point the finger there, and they're not playing their absolute best football, but there's so many other aspects to it. One of the things I said watching Taylor play that first half of New South Wales Cup a couple of weeks ago is his physicality was really evident. You know, he's a grown man playing a grown man sport, and sometimes from our perspective, we can be dominated. And I don't want to use the S word as in S with a T at the end and an O and an F in between. Sometimes we can be a little bit passive in how we attack the game physically. And I don't think Taylor does that, both with the ball and without the ball. I think he's very aggressive. He goes after the game. And it was evident to me how important that was for us. And one of the things we've always talked about when Doueihi's playing left centre is Doueihi's a footballer, but he's not an attacking, threatening left centre. Yep. And one of the things that Taylor did today, and especially on that first try, is early on there was no respect. It was, hey, it's okay, Taylor, you can go one-on-one with your centre and see what you can do. But then every time he touched the ball, it meant the inside and outside defender of poor Jojo Fafita today had to be interested. And the IQ of Taylor to understand that when the winger turned in, he gave it to Skeldon on a couple of occasions. I don't know if we'll get there with tries, but yeah, that's a phenomenal performance. His physicality, his carries, he never got dominated. When he carried the football, he was tough. There was even a period there where I think the Titans scored their second try. He wanted to go. He I don't know whether you've seen it on the TV. He was going at the Titans players like Uppy had to hold him back.
Yeah, I love that.
I love it. Like, you know, I think someone was sledging someone and Taylor started having a crack back at him. And you know what? Like, everyone already has their opinion on Taylor because of his past and the tattoos and all that. I don't mind a bit of mongrel and someone that's going to stand up for everybody. So yeah, I loved everything he did today.
Well, you stole my thunder a little bit there because I know we're going to get on to the second try, but it's just those little things. I know it's a simple pass, but it's knowing when to pass, when not to pass. And you get so many centres that have his attacking ability to a degree, but they're hogs. Like sometimes they won't pass it to the winger. He's just like, no, if it's for the winger, I'll give it to the winger. And if it's not, I'll go myself. He made the right decision for someone that hasn't been in first grade for over 12 months, because when was his last game? Like early last year for Penrith, or around 10 or whatever it was. He was a big difference today, and I did not expect this straight away. This is the Taylor mate I wanted, and I knew we would get, not in game one. What a debut.
And I don't think we should be emotional about every player in every moment. And obviously he's had a great start. It doesn't mean next week he's going to set the world on fire. It doesn't mean every week in, week out, he's going to be a superstar. It just means we know what the standard is and where his level's at. And I think confidently we can say we've found ourselves a left centre who is going to attack the game, is going to put a bit of fear and intimidation, and teams are going to have to prepare for him. You know, if you're the right centre of our opposition next week, who do we play? The Panthers?
Panthers.
Who know Taylor pretty well.
Yep.
You know, he's come up against his good mate Isaac Tungon next week. The Panthers' right winger has to start making some decisions next week that every time Taylor gets the ball, am I going to help Isaac? Am I not going to help Isaac? Am I going to allow him to go one-on-one with him? Do I need to turn my shoulder in?
Tungon's not the greatest defender either.
No. One-on-one, he's not bad. I think his decision-making sometimes can be a little bit poor.
Yeah.
Very similar to what Stafford is, actually.
Yeah.
Tungo's been doing it, though, quality-wise for a long time, and he has been really good the last 3 or 4 weeks. So we know the challenge that's coming with us next week. But, yeah, and without skipping too far ahead, I just think as a whole we need to start appreciating the class we have. And, I won't go too far into it because I'm sure we're going to talk about other players a little bit later. But, yeah, Taylor for us is a really big tick. I guess the challenge down the track is we've got Macassini coming through, who's a left centre as well. So how that works and the dynamic of that's going to be interesting.
There was another mate on the field today called Terrell. I think Terrell knew what Taylor could do. He just gave him the ball, didn't he, and said, go for the first try. Do you want to speak about that first try a bit? Was it pretty simple to you?
Yeah, it was good offload. I think what we did really well, and, it probably shouldn't be Terrell having to do that.
I agree.
When we offloaded the ball, you've got to let the ball move to your strike weapons, because as soon as an offload happens, it means there's a compromised defensive line. There's got to be space. Look for the space and get the ball to the space as quick as possible.
Give him some early ball.
It doesn't even mean it needs to be tailored. There was one in the second half where Fanua got the ball and he's not as comfortable as Terrell and didn't pass it. We had a big overlap off the back of an offload. And I will say this openly, like I've questioned our preparation and our practice around what to do off the back of offloads. We don't capitalize on when we offload the football really well. Usually someone like Jareem can, but obviously he hasn't been playing. But yeah, back to that first try, it was a good offload, and Terrell, I think there was a little bit of backyard stuff with them today. I think Terrell, every time he got the ball, he actually knew, I'm going to get the tail in. And he got it to him, and it was just one-on-one try time.
He probably knows as much as anyone, even Doueihi and Tito, what he's capable of doing. So,
absolutely.
No, I thought Terrell was outstanding as well today.
This episode of the West Tigers Life podcast is proudly supported by Keen Strata, professional and reliable strata management in New South Wales. If you live in a unit, townhouse or apartment block, Keen Strata is all about making sure your building runs smoothly with clear communication and no hidden costs. They offer commission-free, exceptional strata management. Their focus is always on what's best for you and your building and community. Keen Strata is local, independent, and committing to getting things done properly. If you're after strata management that's upfront, reliable, and easy to work with, get in touch with Keen Strata and visit keenstrata.com.au or 02 8515 4080 or email info@keenstrata.com.au. Thank you to our sponsor of this episode, to Gym Direct. They do everything from home gyms to gym fit-outs, so they've got it all. You can get 5% off with the code WTXGD5 or go to westtigers.com.au. So take the S out of West Tigers, westtigers.com.au, and you'll find not only all our episodes, there's a nice big button for Gym Direct as well. You're looking to fit out everything from a home gym to a commercial gym. They do everything, and you can get 5% off. If you're a personal trainer, you can get 10% off as well. So big end of financial year's sales at the moment. Get in to Gym Direct if you're looking to get fit this summer.
Second try. Let's just knock these tries off out of the way so we can get on to the players. What do you think of that? I mean, it was pretty simple stuff.
Yeah, same sort of thing. They ran a dual lead shape on the half, which they've done a couple of times this year, which they've run, and they've run it really well. And again, Jerome does a good job to just catch and straighten. I know, like sitting at home, you sit there, well, he's just caught and passed, but it's the not running. If he keeps running and takes the space away, then all of a sudden it's not the same space for everybody else. And he got the ball to Taylor, and he just tipped it to, again, I think the couple of plays before it meant the winger got a little bit interested in De Groot, which gave Jarrell the space, and Jarrell finishes beautifully in the corner.
I know we don't want to touch too much on the Titans, but do you want to talk to me about the pass from Campbell to De Groot and tell me your theory, given, what would you say that wind was worth, about a 12-point wind?
Oh, I don't know about points-wise. It was strong.
It was strong.
I actually, and I know that I was at the game, but I heard Warren Smith, and Warren Smith's talking garbage. He's got this whole narrative. He always does it with forward passes. He talks about trying to explain that if you throw something out of a car and it's moving, it's always going to float forward.
Yeah.
That wasn't a float forward pass. That Jaden Campbell throws the ball forward. He passes the ball from 15 metres out, and I've watched it now multiple times. Jalen De Groot catches it 11 metres out. So it's gone 4 metres from the point of pass. Now, yes, you can have momentum, but Jaden Campbell wasn't running directly straight. That's the first part. The second part is when a pass floats forward, when the pass is in the air, unless it's actually been zinged and it's like a spiral pass where it's got a lot of pace to it,
yep,
it's going to be really fast and really direct. It won't float. When a pass floats forward, usually there's no wind being blown. So if the wind would have actually carried that and taken it the other way and got it backwards. So to me, it was clear the whole crowd to my right, which was right in front of it, was just the whole crowd was up. So it looked forward to the eye, but, the people that are in charge decided it wasn't. So you got to cop that one on the chin.
And like you said, given the wind was behind the West Tigers, and for that ball to go the way it did, that's even more reason.
It's common sense, but look, I didn't think Belinda Sharp had her best game, but I think we got some calls both ways today. So I'm
100%.
I'm happy to cop that.
Yeah, there was a big call where she didn't call a Doueihi knock on in the second half.
I think the big ones at the moment are the roll balls, where they're saying people aren't playing with their foot.
What's going on there? That's come back into mode all of a sudden. They let it go for 8 weeks, and now we're back into it.
And I shouldn't be saying this, but Fanua, for example, nearly every time he plays the ball does it. Like, it's so nitpicky. And the moment you start doing it, like...
Don't worry, mate. Ivan Cleary won't be watching this. So
yeah.
You're safe.
The referees, I think what happens is the referees identify players who do it frequently, And the touch judges, I've heard it in their ears before, they'll watch for the guy. So they'll actually, as he's about to play the ball, will say, watch for the roll ball, and they ping him. So
we had a strong win in the first half. I think Jerome Luai had to backtrack once to try and get in the 40 to attempt one. That was really the only quick kick we made from our first half. What do you make of that? Is it the fact that we were going too far downfield that there was no point trying to take assistance of the win, or should we have been kicking early in the tackle count, perhaps?
No, there was one in the first half. He kicks it from inside his 20. And that, I don't know, it was strong. The wind was pretty strong. But Jerome kicked it 66 metres on the fly. Yes, I had the tape measure out and I measured it. But it was a long kick. And it sort of told me, I think he doesn't kick the ball long. Even the 40-20 attempt, which actually his foot was on the line, so he wouldn't have got it. He chipped it and it went 40 metres. So potentially for me, it's one of those things where I think Jerome's kicking game can improve, and I think he can continue to work on it, and he will. I have no doubt about that. But, yeah, I think early in the first half, they gave us the ball in really good positions. Not many times were we taking carry one out of our own 10. And there was a couple of times where we did do that, but it was a zero tackle, so we took advantage of that a little bit.
Did you want to speak about anything else from the first half? Because pretty much it was Titans tries. Did you want to speak about the Sammy try that they got us on our right edge?
Yeah, I thought Stafford Toa had his worst game of the year defensively.
Well, technically he only missed one tackle, and I know which tackle that was. That was for the tackle that led up to the cross kick for the third try to De Groot.
Yeah, missing tackles by stats, ignore that. When you are dominated physically, and you may end up tackling the guy and hanging onto his leg so it's not a missed tackle, and then he gets an offload, which they call it an ineffective tackle, for example, or in situations where you're allowing them to penetrate us and go 10, 15 metres past the first point of contact, that's as ineffective as a missed tackle, as them making a break. And Brian Kelly was doing to Stafford Toa what Taylor May was doing to Jojo Fafita. So there was a little bit of a battle on both sides. And they started getting into him a little bit, the Titans, in that first half. But I think that the adjustment, whether it was Stafford Toa, whether it was, I'm 99% sure would have been the coaching staff, is in the second half he started to be a bit more aggressive. So every time they got the ball to Brian Kelly, he wasn't passive. He actually went and got him. And that takes time away from someone like Brian Kelly who likes to run onto the ball. So, yeah, his first half was poor, but I thought he was much better in the second half.
We go into halftime 2 points down, and we're running into that win in the second half. How are you feeling at halftime? Because I certainly wasn't confident, given that was a strong win, and I thought we didn't use it very well.
Yeah, I've never been a big believer in the win too much in games, especially sometimes when it's too strong. It can have almost a negative effect on you with kicking the football. We'll talk about one more thing before halftime.
Sure.
The penalty that Jerome gave away, which everybody was really critical about, the escort again this week. What did you think of it?
You got to refresh my memory, mate. I don't remember it.
Okay, they put up a bomb on a short side, and Jerome actually starts running in one direction, which he was told last week he can't change direction.
Right.
And AJ Brimson, and I'm going to give the Titans credit on this. I actually think they played for it. I think AJ Brimson runs straight into Jerome Lewis.
I literally can't remember it. I'm sorry. You'll have to talk us through it.
Yeah. No, I remember it really clearly, and I watched the replay again. And Jerome knew what he was, and that's what he said in the mic. He said, I didn't change direction.
Yeah.
Which is what he was told last week. So the bomb's gone up, and he just started running that way.
In my defence, I had my head in my hands for 79 minutes of that game.
No. But it's a point because I've made, ever since we've started doing this, I've made a conscious effort to start watching our the comments of our supporters. People are ripping into Jerome. Look, and you know what? The funny thing about that is, and this is the part where I think we don't appreciate who and what we've got and what his number one trait is. And his number one trait is his competitiveness. There was a moment there just after halftime, or what I mean, no, there was the back end of the game actually. We were unshaped down the left-hand side and we dropped the ball and Philip Sammy picks the ball up and he beats Latu.
Yeah,
and he offloads the ball to, it might have been AJ Brimson, and Jerome's come from the other side of the field and made the tackle.
Yeah, about 35, 40 out. Yeah,
correct.
Okay.
It's not a big play because it's not sexy. It's not an attack. But I want everybody to go back and watch that play. And let me tell you, if Jerome doesn't make the effort and have that competitive nature in him, don't forget, he's set up on the left-hand side of the field on tackle 5 to run a play. We come to the right-hand side and we drop the ball. Different halves, and I'm talking some of the best halves in the comp, have a sook, throw their hands in the air, start ripping him. Why is it gone away from me? What he does is completes on the play, and he's there just in case, and he makes the tackle. I'm pretty sure it was on Brimson.
Yeah.
If he doesn't, Brimson's going 70 metres, it's game over. We lose the game.
Look, we don't normally do this, but we've mentioned Doueihi twice now. Let's talk about Doueihi. Watching the game today, personally, I thought he wasn't as involved as I'd like him to be. Hear me out. I loved what he did. I'll tell you what I did like. I hate it when Jerome gets the ball and he's facing a touch judge. He's literally facing the sideline, turning side. His shoulders were square at the try line today. He made a conscious effort to run straight, a lot straighter on most occasions that I haven't seen previously. Did it look like that to you from the ground, or
I think early
a bit differently?
No, I think early in the game he made a conscious effort to carry the football
and straight though, not the jinking left foot. Inside.
He did that a couple of times, and there was one time in the first half he nearly poked his nose through and nearly scored. He had 13 runs for 126 metres as a half. You know, that's the sort of stuff that you see from Jerome Hughes, you see from Cleary does it a lot, where they have a lot of run meters. I had this conversation with the other great Basharas today, Mark and Andrew, and we talked about, you know, being a half, and all the great halves have always had, and I don't mean this with disrespect to our back rowers. They've always had great back rowers with them. Even going back to Andrew Johns.
Yeah.
If you go back and relate Andrew Johns, he always had Steve Simpson. And it was
Ben Kennedy's and
So you always had that guy, and what that guy does is it creates the same impact as Taylor May had on that left edge today. What it does is it puts a bit of pressure on the defenders inside and outside of you, and you can't attack with the same sort of confidence if your back rower is not at an elite level. Like even Samuela, who's our best back rower by a country mile, Samuel is still learning his craft. He's 22 years old.
Of course.
You know, he's still learning the craft of being a great back rower. Samuel at 25 is going to be a fantastic back rower. He's going to be a representative back rower. He's also playing his first ever time with Jerome in the back row. I think the thing for us is we're trying to see it so it works today and tomorrow. I've seen people today, Rob, and we're talking about Jerome here, say, you know, they want him out. They want his clause. You know, hopefully he activates his clause and leaves.
You're serious?
I've seen comments, yeah.
The only reason they would say that is statistically it doesn't, you know, on paper he hasn't had the try assist, he hasn't done this, he hasn't done that. You know, someone said to me today, again, another disgruntled commentator, you know, Galvin did more, you know, last night than Jerome Doueihi's done all year. You know what I'm trying to say? That's the sort of rhetoric that's going on about Jerome. But like you said, he's an absolute competitor, but we've got to find a little bit more out of him in attack, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I think the lack of cohesion and the lack of familiar faces and our combinations, that's not an excuse to me. It's a reason. Like, I think it's a justifiable reason. Like I said this last week, earlier in the year, Nathan wasn't playing his best football because he had almost had a different half every week. And then Edwards was injured every couple of games and Dane Laurie would play fullback. It plays an impact having different combinations every week, especially even the great players have that. And anyone that says otherwise, like the other night, NRL 360 tried to have a crack at Jerome about his numbers.
Which is what I'm mentioning to you.
Yeah. Did you see those numbers that he wasn't dissimilar to Cleary?
I know.
But no one mentions that. It's the same narrative around when Origin night, you know?
Because when you're losing, there's going to be more intensity. And obviously the price taggies come on. And
fair enough. But you know what? We are in a position where we are actually making our way up. We are actually moving up on the ladder. We've gone to 12th spot today. And I know that.
I didn't even look. I just knew how far away we were from last.
There's 5 teams below us at the moment?
If we're 12th, yeah.
Yeah, we're 12th on the ladder. And that's only purely because the Dragons have had 3 buys. We've only had 2. So you put the buy on us and we're actually ahead of them. We are improving. The problem is that we just watching our team at the moment, we're like, well, we're not a premiership threat. You know, we're not a team that's going to compete for the top 4. But it's all about confidence.
I think we're lacking confidence, Adel.
Yeah,
I think it's so obvious.
We're human. The players are human beings. I mean, in anything in life, when you're down on confidence, it doesn't come easy to you. It doesn't. The muscle memory isn't easy. It's not about, you know, you can't actually sit there and go, you know, you play golf. We both play golf. If you hit a couple of bad drives, you know, you could be. We've seen professional golfers in that situation. They start and they just can't find their driver.
Yeah.
Or the cricketer that Every time the ball's outside, he can't face a short ball because he's down on confidence. It's just natural in sport, and this is a team sport. And at the moment, I just feel like that we're lacking that confidence. If we can somehow string some games together, and it's probably not going to happen this year, but we just need to find some confidence.
Yeah, I'd probably go as far to say I don't think we beat many other teams today, mate. That was pretty, like, standard-wise, it wasn't a great game. But like you said at the start of the podcast, it's good to get a win when you're playing bad. And look, let's just touch on Benji's press conference. Benji himself said it's our worst performance of the year. And we lost 64-0 to Melbourne.
Yeah, I watched carefully today. I had a close eye on Benji on the sideline because being the Benji defender, I wanted to watch his body language.
Oh, so you're admitting that now?
Well, no, it's not. I think I'm objective with it, and I think I'm watching and seeing some things that makes me think that what they are trying to instill, they're not getting. So I made a conscious effort today to watch Benji really closely on the sideline. Every time there was a good or a bad situation, I watched Benji really, really closely. And there are certain things that you can just tell it's frustrating the hell out of him, but he's refusing to show frustration when we do errors. And I think that's a really big strength as a coach. The last thing you want to be seeing as players, especially the guys on the bench, and I've been guilty of this coaching myself. It's one of the things I always self-assess myself is sitting there and almost shifting the blame on the players. Because we've seen him take a lot of the blame this year. I watched him really carefully today, and every single time we made it, like the Charlie Staines thing.
What, the drop from the kickoff, you mean? Or
no. The one after halftime, just before halftime, where Seyfarth makes the break, gives him, he tries to basketball pass it, right? I looked at Benji really closely then, and his body language did not change.
But to be fair, Benji would be encouraging that sort of play. I think it was just over a minute left at halftime. If that gets out to Bird and whoever else was there, we might have scored a try.
I'm encouraging it.
Yeah.
To me, you throw that.
That's
pass.
Benji's style. Benji's going to want you to push it.
I think it's anyone's style. You go watch the Melbourne Storm. They like to counterattack. We all have this narrative around, Melbourne are battle-hardened and these guys are battle-hardened. No, they're not. They're actually instilled with a lot of confidence, and they're a team that win a lot of games. So you know what it does? It instills confidence in you.
Now, the reason I say that, Adel, is I've heard Benji himself say under various coaches that he's had had coaches that have encouraged to go for it, and he's had coaches that have absolutely ripped him to shreds for going for it, and he basically likes the coach that wants to back you and go for it. So that's why I say that, because not all coaches are like that. And there's one current coach for another club that would rip you to shreds if you did that. I know that for a fact. He's a former coach of ours, and I love the bloke. You know what?
I've said this previously, and I think on Eddie's the chat with Eddie, we talked about the personality of the coach needs to reflect. Sorry, the personality of the team needs to reflect the coach. I think we need to reflect Benji a lot more. You look at that play after the after the Taylor May try. We shift the ball from the kickoff.
Yeah, that was good to see, actually.
You know what that does, Rob? It instills confidence. It gets you on the front foot. It actually tells the opposition. And if you go back to the Madge era, we actually conceded a try by the Titans in a game where they shifted off the kickoff.
I remember it.
Okay. And this is the thing where I think we're hypercritical of our coaching staff. But you can tell that was a plan. There is a lot of planning what we do. Look, I was sitting in the Leichhardt Robinson grandstand today, and we ran a play in the second half for Nuapole on an edge, and he drops the ball. In contact, he drops the ball. And I could hear all the people, and it's very frustrating for me because we've got a lot of coaches in the grandstand, and it's that's what we're entitled to do as fans.
Probably only one, but anyway.
No, that's what we're entitled to do as fans, but they're sort of, I could hear guys behind me going, why is Fanua on an edge? Alex Seyfarth was playing in the middle against Manly, and we run the same play, and he scored a try. It's not why are we doing it. It's don't drop the fucking football.
Yeah.
In contact.
Yeah.
It's not Jarrell Skelton. Why are you flick passing a pass? It's catch the ball, Charlie Staines.
And that was Charlie's fault. That was a good flick pass.
Absolutely.
Went straight to him.
Absolutely. It's not, Charlie, why are you passing the ball off the break? It's, Charlie, get the pass right. I'm not picking on Charlie. I'm talking about just our execution.
I love Charlie, but he had some bad moments. I was happy for that really good moment he had in the second half where he made a little diagonal 20-metre run.
It's not why are we doing things. It's do them better.
Of course.
That's the thing we got to do. Like, even you look at the Skelton try in the first half, not the Taylor May one. Jerome's pass to to Latu, or might have been the other way around, whoever it was, the pass is still on the back shoulder of his teammate. So, and we still score, but the quality-wise, if that pass is out in front, we probably score a little bit easier.
Yep.
And that's the basic fundamentals of our execution that needs to improve, and it's only going to improve through combination. It's the only way we're going to improve it, and it's persistency, it's being patient, it's working hard at training, it's going back in pre-season. Hopefully everyone gets through fit. You know, I don't know. I don't think we'll have many players playing rep football this year because
even when they're good enough, they don't get picked.
Well, it's not about that. It's about the Pacific Nations. That's going to be the key. And I don't have they released an international schedule for the Pacific Nations.
I haven't heard about it.
But all I know is the Ashes, because a lot of our boys are playing. The Jareem's had that issue in the past. Obviously, last year he didn't play, but he played for Fiji a couple of years ago and didn't come back. Now, Jerome, you know, we want Jerome November the 1st to be with us. We need Jerome, Uppy, Latu, and Latu's probably going to play for Tonga if they've got tests. The thing is, the RLPA have a rule that if they play in those tests, you must have 8 weeks off. There must be an inactive period. So,
which is fair enough.
It is fair enough.
There's too much rugby league.
Can I have a crack at our boys for a sec?
Yeah, sure.
Stephen Crichton came back early when he first went to the Dogs. I think we need to almost sacrifice, because the players are allowed to come back. The clubs can't make them come back. There's a big difference. So the players
can choose to come back.
Yeah, it's their rule. It's their thing they've put in the CBA, but that can be changed if the players want it to be changed. If you understand what I'm trying to say.
I hear what you're saying.
Yeah, so
well, they might do that.
We've deviated a little bit.
If they're all in on Benji and they want to be better for next year, or what have you, they might do that.
Yep, I'd like to think so.
Mate, let's talk about this second half. From last week when we played New Zealand, I felt we really had a hard time making territory. So going into the second half, down 2 points, I said to myself, I was watching the game on my own. I just didn't want to be with anyone today. I was watching the game on my own. I said to myself, unless we get a leg up from Belinda Sharp, we're not making meters. And to the boys' credit, they actually dominated the second half. We got ahead with a couple of penalty goals before, I think it was Brimson that scored the try to get them back in front. But it was rather surprising that we did win the territorial advantage given the Titans. Look, I know the Titans missed Tino, like he came off injured and he never came back. That is a huge loss. We've got to acknowledge that. But still, for us to do what we did, given how poorly we performed last week, and I think that probably helped with Benji's selection of the bench this week, because that bench looked cracker. It absolutely looked pretty potent. And then to have guys like Fanua Bole and Sione Fainu coming off the bench.
Yeah, Sione didn't have his best game today.
He didn't.
And it was a little bit of a different role.
Yep.
Come on in the second half.
Yep.
It was a poor effort on the Brimson try. Look, I think there's two parts of the second half that I'm going to give credit to a couple of people. I thought Tito's outstanding. His carries were outstanding. I also thought, and I'm going to give the coaching staff a big rap, Brett Hodgson's our attack coach. We identified that the Titans' right edge was their weakness. And not only did we attack it in good ball, we attacked it in yardage. So we actually carried the ball every time with 2 tackles to our right, and we just shifted the ball. I think that played a big role.
But do you think that's just directly because of the Titans' right edge, or do you think it's the fact that we've got a weapon in now in Taylor May on the left edge trying to get him the good ball?
It's a bit of both. Yeah. It's a bit of both. But I'll also say this in regards to the second half, and this is where I'd like to think we are objective in what we say. There was some big moments in that half, and that was the 2 roll balls that were called against the Titans. That gave us field territory. Here's where I'm going to be critical, Rob, of our attack, because I know you're going to talk about our red zone attack. What we do really poorly, and this is all in our middles, and I'd love to sit there and do video with these guys and show this. We initiate contact 9 meters out from the line. And we fight and we fight. We don't even fight. We just tippy-toe to about 3-4 meters out every time. It's slow. They get to set their line. Their numbers are correct. Their fullback actually moves people left and right. And it's such a slow play the ball because our guys are trying to creep 3 or 4 meters. We almost get too close to the try line.
So how do we rectify that?
My theory
is
you bump into contact a lot lower. Okay, and your mission is to try to find your front as quick as possible. And that's what other teams do to us. And when you do that, in the modern game, you cannot slow the ruck down when someone finds their front. The only way they'll say it is if they call a surrender tackle, which if you're going into contact a lot lower, well, then you can actually just prove that you're just trying to like sort of attack the line low, and you got to get a bit lower, find your front about 8-9 meters out. They're going to ask to move. This is my theory why we don't get a lot of 6-to-go calls for ruck interference, because I don't think we don't slow the ruck because we actually stand a lot in tackles, and the referees don't have the same indicators in regards to people getting off quicker. So I think that's one part of our attack. That's one thing that's going to help our attack. The other thing is we've got to make up our mind how we're playing off Uppy at 9. We're either going to play a lot more off him and attack the game through there, or we're not.
It seems like we're not.
It's almost like we're having our hand in both.
Yeah. Today we did, but in previous weeks it's just been Appy just shuttling the ball.
Which I don't mind. I don't mind it, but let's execute then.
You talk about a breakdown in the red zone. Like, well, there's a key moment there where Uppy just dives with the ball in the last tackle. We're running into the wind, so most likely any sort of kick's not going to go too deep. Like if you got the wind howling behind you, you don't mind foregoing the ball a metre or two out. And it looked like Latu had switched to the left and Appy went right. He bounced right, like literally like the 2-footed bounce that he does. And then no one was there and he bounced back to the middle and he just thought, stuff it all, just go myself and concede the I don't know.
No, I thought he thought he could score. That's what watching it, I thought.
Well, you'd hope so because you think, what the hell happened there?
Well, to me, it's like I thought he thought he could score, and then the next result is you're giving him a change over 1 metre out. So it's not the worst result. Like one of the things I always talk about when we're coaching and in regards to turning the football over inside that 5 metre zone, I always say to the players, if we actually flip the script a little bit and we say to ourselves, okay, let's presume we're attacking from about 30 metres out, it's tackle 5, and we actually tackled them on the first tackle inside their 5, is that a win? Which it is. Now, I know the difference is we're inside the 20. The thing for us is we don't have Daniel Tupos and these sort of guys who are big targets out wide. We just don't. Charlie Stays is not someone that catches high balls. Jarrell Skelton's not someone. So we don't really, besides Jerome's really good little kick in behind that he can do, we don't really have a good attacking kick option. So I'm almost in the belief that we should play 6-tackle football inside the 20. Like you don't play to say, okay, we'll have 5 shots and then we'll look for an attacking kick. It's you're having 6 shots. That's almost how I'd approach the theory of what we do. I mean, unless you got Jareem playing, who's an elite leaper, and maybe you come up with some sort of attacking variation where you can put a kick sort of above the back rower's head for him, strategically attacking it. Samuel has shown that he can leap and catch some things, but other than that, there's not really anyone in our team. So I'm almost going by the theory is besides Jerome's little kick, I'm playing 6-tackle football, which means on tackle 5, you're not actually setting up to kick, you're actually around the ball, which we did a couple of times today. So look, our attack's got to get better, and we've always said that, but repetition, combinations, and playing a lot more football together. And the hard part is, and I know you're probably going to touch on the Stafford going a fullback and attack.
I am.
The hard part is, you and I have talked about how important Jareem is to our attack.
100%.
So I think that regardless of what we're doing at the moment, what we're building is the Latu-Jerome combination, which I think actually works really good. I genuinely I know people out there probably, it doesn't look like it, and it's a very lazy analysis to say they're not clicking. I actually think they are. Watching them combine and watching the communication in what they do, I think they're very comfortable with each other. I think it's just a lot of the things around them. I think our middle struggle in good ball. I think they're identifying what their roles are and where they're supposed to be and sort of the genuineness of their lead lines. I think that's a bit something that can elevate a little bit more. And then the next dynamic was Doueihi coming in today, playing a bit more 13 with a bit more preparation. I think at times actually made us look good, and I think we're going to be much better for it next week.
Well, let's touch on some of the better points of the second half late in the game. Talk us through the Jarrell Skelton second try out in the corner before Adam unfortunately missed a conversion.
I was sitting in the Latcham Robinson stand, Rob, and I just said, let's just get to the right post, just set up any shape to the left side, get the ball to Taylor, and he'll make the right decision. And he literally did it. It was such a soft try.
It was.
at that stage of the game, it was such a soft try, but that's the fear that you can have when you have a world-class player in that position. And that's what Taylor is. And it was really good shape. I think Latu done a good job to push Jerome out of the way to jump into first receiver.
Yep.
And it may have been a strategic thing that that's how they line up their shape, and he comes in late and sort of Jerome just shifts off the back of it. But they did a really good job, put themselves in the right position, and Taylor makes the right decision to get the ball to Jarrell. And Jarrell, one of the things about Jarrell that's really good, he's a very big body and can score in that situation. So,
don't know if it was a next set from the kickoff, but it probably was when Taylor, again, you talk about IQ, stays down, make sure they check the crusher, gets a penalty. Well done, Taylor. Glad you learnt that from Penrith, but give us another 8 Penrith plays. We'll take them. We get the penalty. We go downfield. Now, this is a little bit of a bugbear for me. I'm watching the game on TV. Warren Smith, Cooper Cronk. Cooper Cronk saying, just ruck it up. Take the field goal as much as you can. We take a hit up. Second tackle, we switch it 2 or 3 passes. Okay, for another hit up, a little bit wider to try and spread the defence so we can punch down the middle. And we get down to the 4th tackle where basically in front of, as you're watching, from a Tigers attack, we're in front of the left-hand post.
Point of order, Rob Bashara.
Oh, there's stuff before it.
You don't tell the story, you got to tell it correctly.
No, you're gonna come and tell it correctly. I tell it from the fan. Listen, I've got the fans' perspective. You've got the coach's perspective.
No, but you missed the most important part of that set.
Okay, what was that?
Jerome makes a break.
Was that last set?
Absolutely, it was.
No, I'm thinking this.
No, it was that set, because when we go back to the middle of the field, then we go back and switch it the other way. 100%. I've watched it about 4 times.
Jerome gets tackled on the 5th tackle out wide.
That wasn't the 5th tackle.
What was it?
It was tackle 3.
Am I talking about the same set?
Absolutely. Should we bring it up? Is there a way to bring it up?
Obviously we haven't rewatched the game yet, so I can't be for sure and certain. But I thought we got to like in front of the left-hand post on around the 4th tackle, and I'm thinking we're going to set up for a field goal, and then we switch it out to the left, and that's not when Luai makes the break. Let me tell you, as you said to me in the car coming up here, if Luai scores in the corner, oh my God, like everyone would have lost their shit totally, and that would have been the best thing ever for Jerome Luai and for us, and just exercise the demons of Luai's not worth his chop and all this sort of stuff. But no, I'm pretty sure the field goal one wasn't the Luai break. That might have been a little bit earlier, maybe 3 or 4. I could be wrong.
I'm while everybody's watching. I'm actually trying to bring it up. But
okay, you do that.
No. I'm 99.9% confident. I hope I don't look like an absolute idiot right now, because
you didn't say 100%. That's fine.
You've got me second guessing myself. No, and it was the reason I'm confident about it, because sitting next to the boys, we were talking about set up for a field goal. And I said, no, I think we made that mistake before. Let's play. Let's attack their right edge.
You're probably right, mate.
Let's attack their right edge, because I think every time we went there in good ball, we got results.
Like I said, I've probably only watched 30 minutes of the game, because for 49 minutes, my hands were like this over my eyes. So, quite disgusted with a few of the other things that happened.
What do you want to tell me about those few things that you didn't like?
Honestly, Adele, it's not the mistakes. It looked disorganised. That's all it was. And I could be wrong. And again, you can see the frustration. You said, again, I kind of disagree with you. You said Benji didn't look frustrated at the mistakes. I get that. But there were a couple of times early in the game where the camera goes on to Benji Marshall, and he's looking into the sky. He's looking like over one of those houses overlooking Leichhardt Oval. And I swear he's thinking, what am I doing here? Like, do I really need this? Like, I thought a couple of times he just looked a little bit, not frustrated, but just like, what the hell can I do to change this? Like, I can't get out there and put a jersey on.
Well, now that we've listened to his press conference, we know what he was thinking. He was thinking, this is our worst performance. Can we get away with it? By the way, I just checked. It was definitely that last set.
It was that last set.
Yeah, it was tackle 2. We shift the ball.
Well, we didn't score. We should have been going for 1 point. Shouldn't we?
No. I don't think we should. I think in the modern game, we don't have an elite field goal kicker. Okay, even Doueihi's kick today, like, he nails it, but he didn't nail it as in it was sweet and whatnot. I like, again, it's personality. I like what we attacked. I like the fact that we identified that their right edge was there for the taking. And you know what? One of the things everyone always criticizes about Jerome is not wanting the ball in the big moment. He had the ball in the big moment. Like, kudos to AJ Brimson. Like, what a tackle.
No, it was a great tackle, but Adele, I think we have to be fair about this. You talk about being objective. Okay, hear me out. No, you're getting upset.
I'm confused.
Okay. The Adam Doueihi field goal was a byproduct of everything that happened. It wasn't organised. It wasn't a pre-plan. In fact, I'd go as far to say, given it had to be a long floating pass to Adam to get the ball to snap the field goal. Again, I haven't rewatched it, okay? But I remember at the time thinking this is going to get charged down because I'm thinking, how's it going to go from the first receiver to Adam with 2 long passes and no Titans going to be up in Doueihi's face? So Titans were very poor there. There's no effort there they should not be letting Adam get a kick off there at all. He probably should have been tackled with the ball in hand, let alone getting a shot off and kicking the winning field goal. So I just think that field goal was great. It was wonderful, but it wasn't a set play. It was just like, shit, we're caught out on the left, last tackle.
No, there was no field goal. There was no field goal set.
Correct.
There was no field goal set. Like, I'll acknowledge that.
Yeah.
But I don't mind the fact that they went after the game in that moment. And at the end of the day, and it was an AJ Brimson try saver.
That's the personality of the coach, though.
Yeah, but
like you said, the character.
Well, hang on. The personality of the coach is always his football IQ. And if you go back to Golden Point 2012, Leichhardt Oval, round 1.
Cronulla.
He sets us up for a field goal and he kicks it himself.
Yep.
So, yeah, exactly. So, there's a little bit of the personality, and sometimes I think Benji is a little bit criticised for, and by the way, I don't like Cooper Cronk, FYI, for anyone that doesn't know this, I don't like Cooper Cronk because I think he's a little bit sarcastic. Like, he's talked about sometimes in jest that he says it tongue-in-cheek about Benji not being a good defender. And I think he said he sort of
he means it, I think. Yeah, I know what you're saying. He says it tongue-in-cheek, but it's a stab.
Yeah, not everybody had Cameron Smith and Billy Slater to carry them around.
No, I get
and James Tedesco and Luke Keary.
It's funny. I think
I'm so defensive of Benji.
I know he would never be interested in the position, but I actually like how Cooper Cronk thinks. I'd love him on our attacking staff. I think he would be so good for us, but he's never going to be doing that. And Benji's probably never employing him anyway.
I'm going to keep my mouth shut.
Let's get on to the players, mate.
Yep.
Okay, so we win the game. We're all happy. We've got that out of the way. Let's start from fullback, Taruva. Very much like the Roosters game where he let that ball go over his head, end up getting caught in goal, like an early error, just like today. So today he doesn't contest a ball, Adel. That was a bit of an issue for me. And the Groot ends up scoring off that forward pass from Campbell from the ensuing.
Yeah, I think you're being a bit harsh at the game. It's easy to say why isn't the fullback contesting it. The wind was catching those.
Yeah, you know what? Again, I'm probably being harsh. I'd rather Tito jumps up and drops it than let it bounce.
I don't disagree.
I think that's your first thing. Just have a go at it, mate. If you can't catch it, you can't catch it. But you let the ball bounce, it's just Murphy's,
I don't want to be a hypocrite because I'm going to sound like it.
What would you teach your players?
I'd rather you drop the ball than let it bounce.
Thank you. So you're agreeing.
Okay, so
let it be noted, Adel Haji's agreeing with me.
I will say that
once.
Yes, I do, but I think in that situation he had to make a judgment call, and I don't think he would have got to it. The one he didn't contest. Okay, so and there was 2, so I don't know which one you're specifically talking about, but there was one in particular. I think we ended up giving him 6 to go. I think it might have been Tristan Hope that tries to catch it.
It comes off Tristan Hope.
Yeah,
after it bounces.
That one, I think he made a judgment that he wasn't going to get to it because the wind actually catches it and takes it the other way. Like it literally grabbed the ball and took it the other way. So there was another one though that I thought, yeah, I'll agree with you. Like I thought it was either kicked right in between him and the winger. But I'm not like I refuse to sit here and nitpick on all of our players.
No, I'm not. He was fantastic today. He's probably look. I'd probably go Taylor May, Terrell May, and Tito. That'd be my order. 3, 2, 1. I mean, I can find the numbers. What did Tito have running meters wise? Do you know it off the top of your head? It's at least like 180 or something.
Yeah. Or it might have been 200 actually.
Let's have a look for Taruva. Taruva 199 meters.
Yeah.
So he
whoever did the stats, by the way, like BB. Oh no, I've got 208 here.
Oh, so you're on the NRL.com.
Mine's updated. Yeah.
Okay, it's
got updated. So 208.
Yeah. Well, I haven't updated mine. It was just sitting on that page.
Yeah.
But the other thing too, Adel, like it's not nitpicking, but of course you got to look at the overall scheme of things. If you identify a weakness, if you're letting balls, put it this way, if I'm a Titans halfback and I put a bomb up and you're letting it bounce on the ground, guess what I'm doing next time on the last tackle? I'm putting another bomb up. Like if you're not going to attack it, then you're showing weakness. So you always do what the other.
It depends where it's landing. Like there's the one where Jerome puts it up, right?
Yeah, it goes straight up.
It goes straight up.
Yep.
That was up for a long time. Now, you can sit there and go to the Titans, why didn't you guys attack it?
Yeah, but I know what you're saying, but that's different. That's not the fullback. I'm just saying this was a fullback's ball, in my opinion. I know you're saying he might not have got there. Look,
Yeah.
I got to watch the replay. I got to watch.
No, I think there's times where 100% fullbacks should be catching the ball.
Yeah,
and like I said, I prefer them to drop a ball than let it bounce. But yeah, I didn't think the overall scheme of what Tito does. Will teams attack him? Yep, you should attack Tito in the air. Like, he's not a tall person. He doesn't have the best leap. So it surprise me they don't attack him a little bit more. I think he can catch the high ball pretty well. But in a situation where he gets isolated and it's one-on-one, I think he could be in a little bit of trouble. But again, like for me, I'm sitting here going, I don't expect Tito to be doing this for the next 3 years of playing fullback. I know Jareem's our fullback, no matter what James Hooper tries to do. You know what I mean? So I sit there and go, it's not big picture worrying about Taruva playing as fullback. That's the reasoning why I don't really fuss too much about it.
I'm going to touch on just about every player, but some will only require a sentence.
I don't. Do we really want to touch on everybody?
Just a sentence, maybe,
Okay.
maybe, but not everyone. But no,
I'll give you some one words for some of them.
Yeah, but some of them will require more than one word.
Okay.
Jarrell Skelton. Okay, we've discussed this a little bit on the way up in the car. There was a bit of a mixed bag there. I know he got 2 tries. He's still, every week he seems to come up with an amazing NFL shot on players, but definitely there's some defensive issues there.
I think it's some IQ issues is my problem with Jarrell at the moment. I think he lacks the football IQ. Like, you look at Tito when he's on the wing and some of the stuff he does, especially with the ball. I think Jarrell doesn't have that as much. Look, he's someone that obviously we got for one more year. I think he's important with us at a yardage. He's someone that if he's not careful, he becomes a depth player, which is good for the club and good for us. But, it's one of those things where you got to sit there and go, okay, what's our best defensive unit just as much as it's – because like I said, we know Makasini's coming in soon. Makasini, like every other class player, including Suaalii, who was very similar to Makasini, like it's almost scary how identical their paths are coming. Started on the wing for a year. I think Makasini's going to start as a winger.
Left wing, obviously.
It could be either. Tito's played both. So we know Tito's going to be one winger. Jareem plays fullback. Makasini's probably going to be a winger. It becomes one of those things where Jarrell Skelton, you're playing for your spot in the long term, and he comes off contract November the 1st, so he'd want to be securing his future very, very soon, whether it's with us or somebody else. So usually you see the best football out of players when they're doing that.
We've discussed Taylor, mate, so we don't need to speak about Taylor anymore. Start for Toa, just very quickly. Is he injured, in your opinion?
He's playing.
He's playing.
If you're playing, you're not injured.
Okay, because that's you call it nitpicking. I find it very interesting when he plays fullback on that right edge and feeds the ball to Taruva, where if I'm the opposition, I don't want Toa running at me. Anyone can catch and pass and go. I don't understand why Taruva's not playing fullback the whole time, even in attack and feeding. I think Toa only had something like 30 metres running today.
My theory is Jerome and Latu prefer to play left edge. Okay, so we're probably not going to get the same sort of quality to our right.
Until Trent comes back.
We haven't all year, to be fair. Like, even when Galvin was there, Galvin doesn't play to the right.
Our right edge was pretty good. Like, Taruva's been scoring tries left, right and centre.
The difference was to our right edge, what we were doing is we were trying to get the ball
to Galvin.
No, it wasn't to Galvin at the time. It was we were trying to get the ball to Stafford early.
Yep.
Okay, but Jareem was playing fullback. And Jareem we'd seen because he had the little kick and he started the ball play. So he brought it into his game. Where Tito doesn't have that in his game. So you probably leave, if you put Stafford on the right with Tito at fullback, Stafford's probably not touching the ball.
Yeah.
So that's the only theory I can come up with. Look, I don't.
His form's gone down the last few weeks.
I don't think it's a big deal.
Yeah. All right. Obviously, Charlie tries hard. He had a bad game today. We'll just let that go. We've discussed Jerome. Latu.
Yeah, good. Did
he get lost in the middle of all
that?
No. Talk to me about him, man, because he's our steering wheel.
If Latu Fainu's worst game, because a couple of people said to me, he's poor today. And I went,
wasn't poor. He was.
No, I know that, but I said, okay, well, what did he do wrong? He didn't what? Tell me what he did wrong. Not everybody is going to have 8 out of 10s every week, 9 out of 10s. Like, this is a kid still as well, off the back of football. Like I said, in the moment, at the back end of the game, he actually injected himself into that right side and laid on some really squared up good plays for Jerome, especially on that one where he makes the break. Latu was fine. Latu is fine. Everybody, Latu is fine. Let him develop. Leave him alone.
Are you happy with Adam at 13?
Very happy.
He made 30 tackles today too.
Very happy.
I don't know if he missed any.
I love his attitude.
Yeah,
I love his attitude on game day.
How about that passion when he kicks a field goal? Our house.
Did he say our house or my house?
I might have said my house.
I'd rather him say my house. I want that arrogance.
Yeah.
I want it.
I'm not sure. He probably did. Well, he's Lebanese. He's probably arrogant enough to say my house. Our back rowers, just quickly, one word or one sentence. You're listen. I don't know if they're listening to the show or not, mate, but we had Jack Bird starting at right edge back row today, and we had Tristan Hope starting. I seem to have heard that a couple of times from your mouth on this podcast. I know you're going to be happy with those decisions, and obviously we saved an interchange by starting with Hope. But look, just talk about the back row first, and we'll get on to the front row. I
feel sorry for Jack Bird. I feel like our fan base doesn't like him.
I love him. I
don't like. I don't know what we're expecting from a guy who's been through a long career and has had a lot of injuries. He's physical, he's aggressive. Yeah, he gives away the odd penalty. Yeah, he does the odd thing. But you know what? He's probably still really good for us. You can tell he's popular around the squad. He's not going to kill he's not going to be a world beater. He's not his origin. It's not origin Jack Bird. But we've got a senior player who's going to probably, have the odd game off. I don't think Benji's going to play him there every week. But I like what he's doing. Like, I don't need him to set the world on fire. I just need him to be physical, very aggressive, carry the ball as best as he can. And you know what? Nothing went through that left edge on him.
Given the amount of clubs he's played for.
On his spot, sorry.
Given the amount of clubs he's played for and the age he is and at the stage of his career he's at, I love his enthusiasm. I love what he brings to our club.
He doesn't look like he's out there just collecting a paycheck.
No, exactly. Yeah. He's having a go. Alex Toll was really good today, I thought, in the first half. What do you think?
Yeah.
Alex, the usual 7 out of 10?
7 out of 10.
Tristan Hope?
I thought his service was poor in the first 5 minutes, but then he got into the game and he got a bit more comfortable.
Yeah.
Look, Leichhardt Oval's intimidating.
He got his first grade spot from that trial performance against Parramatta at Leichhardt. He was brilliant that night.
There's a difference between Leichhardt Oval and Leichhardt Oval on a Sunday afternoon, full house.
I know, but he doesn't have to play on the wing on the hill. I know what you're saying.
No, but going in the big crowd, you also starting and Uppy's on the bench. Like, you know what I mean? So there's a bit of expectation there. But look, it started poorly, I'll be honest, but I thought he was good.
Terrell May, 40 tackles, a couple of missed, probably 140 metres or thereabouts.
So you're saying they're listening to me, you reckon?
Well, mate, I hope so.
I want to see Terrell 1 week come off the bench.
Okay. Who would you start in place of him?
It doesn't matter.
Sandy's done a good job starting.
Yeah, I don't think it matters. I'd love to see Terrell come off the bench.
And then play the rest of the game like
Play the rest of the game. Literally the role he was playing for the Roosters. He didn't play the rest of the game, but he was coming on with a bit of impact and a bit of fatigue in the game. Just give him one opportunity of doing it. I'd love to see it once.
What do you think of our bench players? Mate, I've got to give Alex Seyfarth a rap. Some of his touches today or moments he nailed. Around the corner passes.
Beautiful pass around the corner.
A long run downfield.
Yeah. He was good.
I'd always bag him, so I've got to give him a rap when he does.
There's nothing.
I thought he was fantastic today.
We know who Alex Seyfarth is.
Yeah, but we got the good Alex Seyfarth today. We didn't get the angry redhead giving 100 penalties away, Seyfarth. Slight exaggeration.
I agree.
All right, mate. Anyone else you want to touch on before? And yeah, we've touched on Benji. I mean, we've got to be happy for Benji in all this. I mean, geez, he would have copped it from Pill at a post if we lost that game.
I don't think he cares, Rob. Not about winning. I don't think he's caring at the moment whether he's going to cop it or not because...
He has to be like that.
Yeah. It's hard for me right now to talk about Benji because, as I said, everyone considers me a Benji defender.
Do you think it's affected him or his coaching style, knowing how desperate we are for wins?
Nothing. If it affected him, he would not be on the sideline being himself. He had a couple of players come up to me on the sideline today and I love watching Tito, watching Latu twice come to the sideline and they're just sitting there nodding their head. It's like they're still intimidated. They're still at awe in who's coaching them and they're listening and they're respecting it. And then you watch him after the game with the players. Trust me, I've been around rugby league long enough to know when players are disengaged from the coach. And our players are not.
Fair enough. All right, mate. Anything else we need to add a touch on this game before? I want to speak to you about the women's a little bit too, but anything, look, okay, let's just one final thing on the game. It's not really this game.
Mm-hmm.
the obvious change for next week, it seems like Jareen Buller was looking really good at captain's run yesterday. So Buller comes in.
Well,
Tito,
I had a conversation with someone at the club today, and I think he's close.
You don't think he'll be back next week?
I think it'll be touch and go.
Okay, but if he does come back, Charlie's the one to drop out?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Tito just goes to right wing.
Even for the deficiencies of Skelton on the wing?
I think they'll keep the left-hand combination. I think that's what they'll do.
And fair enough too. They got 3 tries
just
between.
to keep the combination. I think they will, and I think you can, considering none of them are setting the world on fire. I think the 20-odd carries of Jarrell out of yardage are just too important for us right now. And what we've got to do is we just got to, and now that we've got Luai and Taylor on the left, I think our left edge defence is a little bit better. Little bit. I think he's susceptible to the kick in behind. In saying that, the try they scored today, no one stops that. The group try, the kick. But yeah, it's a tough one. Macassini's about to turn 18, Rob. Did you watch New South Wales Cup?
No, I saw a few glimpses on social media. He's looking good.
Let me tell you, he's ready.
He's ready to go?
Absolutely no doubt in my mind.
Would you ever put him on the bench?
Maybe. Yeah, you could, in the modern day you can. In the modern day, absolutely you can. How the game gets played, but put the kid in.
Let's talk about the NRL W game today. What was the score? 22-12 to the Titans?
24-12.
24-12. That's right. They got the penalty on full time. I need to speak to you about it, Mr. I'll do it for free. We're up, 12-6, 3 unconverted tries. Looking good. I know you got one major issue from that game. Let's quickly talk about that and give us your reasons as to why it upsets you. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
But go through it because it's important to give you reasons.
I don't understand some of the things that get done, but look, I mean, a lot of it comes down to the recruitment and what we've done previously. But yeah, look, we're a squad that's very young. There's not much experience. We've got Kezi Apps, Sarah Togatuki, probably Christian Pio is the other one. And Kezi and Sulla are the two that are about. Having them both off at the same time is just ludicrous, first of all. The other thing is Kezi's a back row. Kezi's the best back row in the competition. I know. I don't know what we're trying to do. Put her in the back row.
Well, she scored a try out there last
Leave
week.
her in the back row. I promise you she'll have just as much impact in the game playing on the back row that she has that you think she's having in the middle. And all you're doing is you're taking the juice out of her. But then having them off at the same time was ludicrous. Then you go 12-6 up. There's 26 minutes to go, I think it was.
And they're still off.
You put them back in that moment, right then and there, you put them back on the field.
Well, Kezi plays the whole game, doesn't she?
Normally, yeah.
So
I don't like even the.
I know she copped a head knock when she came back on.
Put it this way, I was sitting in the. So you know what? Sometimes things when it comes to the girls, sometimes almost things fall in my lap, and I sit there and I just shake my head. Like I was standing in the line, and the poor Chelsea Saville who pulled out before kickoff today. I heard her talking to somebody. I don't know if I should say that. I don't really care anymore because it's really hurting my heart. She got hurt in the captain's run, Rob. Not in the warm-up today. She got hurt in the captain's run. So then they still let her warm up today and see how she went, and then they pulled her out. You know what? I shouldn't say that because that's actually against the rules. I shouldn't say that.
What's against the rules?
You can't, if you've got a previous injury and you go into the warm-up.
Oh, you better.
Yeah, that's okay. You know what? It is what it is. Like, at the end of the day, though, that's such poor diligence because the preparation to that's got to be better. And I'm so angry about this because it hurts. Like, everybody, like, if you sit there and watch the NRL game with me, you'd think I'm a lunatic. But the other part to it is they bring in a young girl who's an outside back half on the bench. She's never played NRL. She's a rugby union girl. Bring her in and then bring her on a hooker. At the same time, our starting hooker from the first 2 rounds is sitting on the bench. Like, a lot of it just does not make sense to me. Look, today was going to be the one game that they should have won. The Titans the Titans have been diabolical the last couple of weeks. They are so short on troops.
And we still lost.
And we had no reason to lose that game. It's...
Who's the young lady that scored 3 tries and did to Ezra Mam today? 3 tries in a losing team. Who was that?
Yeah, Caitlin Turnbull. She was good.
She was very good.
Really good under the high ball. Finished some beautiful finishing skills, which was really good. We're just missing. the girls that have left, I don't think the club understands how much of an impact it's had because of the lack of experience around the group. Last week I said Lasana Lutu had her worst game for the club. I thought she was outstanding today.
Except the goal king.
No one.
She's not getting goals from into the win from the
respectfully,
sideline.
No one in the NRLW kicks them from the sideline. Like 1 in every 15 attempts go over. So, and she can kick them from the sideline. She kicked one last year against the Sharks from the sideline. So she's also down a little bit of confidence. But I thought she was outstanding today. Her halves partner is a young girl still learning her trade. Look, like I said, I think I've said this previously on the podcast that the NRLW is not due to similar to the NRL. Like they need to be right now. I think there's only like 6 girls or 7 girls that are contracted next year. The squad work needs to be being done right now because there needs to be an upgrade in the squad. Also found out Claudia Brown, who hasn't played a game this year, is out for the season.
Is there a win coming soon or not?
They try so hard. Their effort is outstanding.
That wasn't my question.
I don't know.
Okay.
Like the Raiders have been really poor. That's the one game, but I think it's the back end of the year. Yeah, they're going to, like the Sharks have come off a loss. So they're going to struggle they're going to struggle, mate. It's so sad. Like,
mate, anything else you want to touch on before I do some goodbyes and what have you? Anything to touch on from the game or men or women?
No, nothing.
All good.
It's good to have a win. Good to be at Leichhardt Oval. Win, lose or draw. And I don't say this lightly. It was good to be at Leichhardt Oval today and enjoy another experience there. We don't get many of them.
How good's it been to be at Mic'd Up tonight?
Just feels different, doesn't it?
Just, yeah.
You're in your element.
I just feel like I've got 2 people massaging me or something. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
I can get used to this.
That's really good.
Well, anyone looking to podcast, definitely contact Daniel Hanna at Mic'd Up Podcast Studios. Just a few shows that we're going to be doing in the future I need to give a shout out to. So we've actually got David Riccio joining Adele and myself tomorrow night, which will probably be released late tomorrow night or early on Tuesday. Look out for that one. That should get pretty fiery. There'll be some loaded questions in there for Adele and David. And after this podcast, we're actually going to join Eddie Otto and Gary Watson from the West Tigers podcast, a collaboration podcast. It'll go under their banner, but we'll be running that later in the week on YouTube. So keep your eyes out for that one. That will be another masterclass to what Adele did last week with Eddie and myself. And then on Wednesday night, obviously join us at the Orange Grove Hotel if you can. Josh, Aaron and myself will be there. So we've got a really busy week the next a few days or so, but definitely this will be our home Sunday night. So anyone looking to podcast, give Mic'd Up a call. And look, I'm just happy for all you guys. We got the win. It's hard to be positive sometimes, but if Benji says that's the worst game we've ever played and we won, that's obviously got to be a good thing. So we've kicked clear from the Titans from the bottom. So I think that's something we should all be very happy about. So Adele, thanks again for joining us tonight. Hopefully you can make this trip a bit more frequent. Go give Virgin or Qantas a call, mate, and get some sponsorship going.
Any West Tigers fans who like the podcast, if you want to sponsor me, we'll get one person a week, and I don't need to fly business.
No, we'll fly.
Row 30 is enough for me, and we'll come down once a week, maybe. See how we go.
Too easy. Anyway, thanks again for joining us, guys. Plenty to look forward to on not only West Tigers Life, but West Tigers podcast this week. Have a great week, and let's see if we can go back-to-back against the Panthers next week. Go the Tigers.